We are back and ready for action in the NASCAR Wendy's Cup Series. This is the State Farm 400 here at Hattiesburg Speedway. My name is Colin Denton. I will be on the call today for RVN. Now let's take a look at the current standings. Paul Brenner still atop the leaderboard. Barry Goldberg slightly behind him. Rampage still on the bubble, but staying within 10 points. We're going to see what they do today. Now onto the grid. Tyler Markell in the Detroit Lions Chevy is on the pole and is eligible for the Wendy's Unlimited in February. John Green in the Target Chevy is on the outside. In the second row, Dale Jr. Duke 88 and Matt Johnson. In the third row, Josh Harris and NASCAR Fan 1418. In the fourth row, James McDaniel and Harry Saura. In the fifth row, Tyrone Kingston and Colin Lindsay. In the sixth row, Marty Johnson and Gabriel Wanderley. In the seventh row, Andrew Rich and T-Love 48 Man. In the 8th row, Barry Goldberg and Conrad Cooper. In the 9th row, Rampage and Pat Hayes. In the 10th row, Grayson Acevedo and Zach Campbell. Now we'll take a look at the rest of the order flashing across the bottom of the screen. 6 races in, 6 drivers have won. 6 drivers have punched an almost guaranteed ticket into the chase. Of course, they'll have to stay in the top 35 in points. However, that should not be a problem if you have a win. You just got to stay consistently at least average. That's the best you need to do to stay in this hunt. As the pace car pulls off into turn number 4 on the pit lane, you can see the pit lane cone is way in the middle of turn 3 and 4, so I'll have to make an early commitment if they decide to pit. As they come down the front stretch through the kink, the green flag has waved here at Hattiesburg for race number 7 of the NASCAR Wendy's Cup Series. And Markell gets off to a great start, already taken off in front of John Green. The inside line is really charging. Green did not get a good restart, or rather a start there. And now he gets back into it, gets the outside line momentum. Matt Johnson goes to the outside of McDaniel. They're starting to file out. But of course, they're still trying to make moves as they do to try to get in contention. Dale Jr. Dude 88 is already on a win, but Josh Harris obviously looking for a win to get himself into the chase. They are running double file all the way back to the last spot. On board one of those winners, Barry Goldberg. He's looking through the inside, trying to make some moves. See if he can extend some points. Give himself a little bit of guarantee going down the line. You can see that these cars running to the inside, they like to jump that inside line on the white line that represents the apron, but they like to jump it as they come into the finish line area. Try to save just a couple milliseconds. That's all it takes. Tyler Markell continues to lead, heading through and completing lap number 3. You can see a lot of their top 10 has in fact filed out. Tyler Markell currently running 14th in the standings. Obviously, unless he's looking to get himself a ticket to the chase happening in the last 10 races of the season, races 17 through 26. That system's going to run the same way that they run the Sprint Cups. Going to have a total of 16 drivers, eliminated 4 at a time until the last race where it comes down to the best finish in that race. And at the moment it looks like it might be run by 16 different winners, but if we do in fact get a double winner, we're going to have someone from the bubble area step up. And if in fact we do have people that tie for that bubble position, we're going to have to put them in and eliminate 5 or more in the first round. Dejon Weeks, we just saw him on his onboard. He made a pretty gutsy move right here. Look at this. Cutting it down to the inside, making it 3 wide with Alexander Miller and Conrad Cooper. And he is going to take both of their spots. That is a move that everyone needs to make here if they want to be in contention. But as you can see, they've pretty much filed out the single file. They are staying pretty clean right now. Most of that side-by-side battling is happening in the back right now. From up top, you can see the shape of this course. You can see it's a long back stretch, and the front stretch has 2 kinks in it. It's again kind of like a trapezoid shape, just like we saw at Rio, of course. Not quite as tight turns, and the kinks are going to happen on the front stretch instead of the back stretch like we saw last week. Markel continues to lead this one. As we head into lap number 9, let's take a look at our bubble drivers. Rampage is in 3rd position in the points. He currently runs 13th place at the moment. He only put up just under a 20th place finish last week. Wasn't good, but it was just slightly better than NASCAR Fan 1418, which allowed him to take the spot from him, who now he runs in 4th place, just 1 point behind. He's now in 7th place, though, so he's in a good position to try to take that spot back and possibly make up some ground on Paul Brenner, who is not in the top 10 at the moment. John Arndt is running just alongside there with him, 13 points behind, but he is now in 29th position at the moment. And as we look in the back of that field, it looks like they have also sprung out to single file. Going further through the field, Eric Van Arsdale still in a battle, but he's in 31st place. And K-Dude 124 might have just taken one of those spots from him. He is tied with John Arndt at the moment, but you can see he's still within his frame. He still has a chance to try to keep up with him, but obviously, if these guys continue to run further ahead of him, he's going to lose some spots today. John Green running 4th place at the moment, the best running of our bubble drivers at the moment. 16 points behind, trying to be in a battle with McDaniel and Harris. See what he can do today. Andrew Rich, currently running in the 8th position in points, 11th place, just a couple spots in front of Rampage, but a few spots behind NASCAR Fan 1418. 17 points behind. He needs to do much better today if he wants to get up there. And finally, someone we haven't talked about a lot this season, Pat Hayes, currently running in 10th position. He's been having a quietly good year. We just have not been seeing a lot of him. He's currently running in 26th position, so not ideal, but obviously he's been putting up some solid finishes that we just have not been noticing. Those can add up. They can definitely get you where you want to be in the point standings. So we are going to take a quick commercial break right here on RVN, and we'll be right back with more racing action at Hattiesburg.
Today we're going to talk about drag, and that can slow an object down. So in NASCAR, is this good or bad? Layla?
Bad, because when you go slow, you lose. You lose.
Sponsors disappear, no one will talk to you. All of a sudden your jokes aren't funny.
But when you go fast, you win, and you feel happy. Plus your parents take you out for ice cream.
You had me down and you brought me right back up. To the bus, I'm driving, we're getting some ice cream.
NASCAR Acceleration Nation, where kids can play games and learn math and science the NASCAR way. Go to accelerationnation.com to get started today.
Welcome back to Hattiesburg Speedway, where we continue to run single file. No cautions yet so far this race, so it's time to take a look at our Hardy's hot seat. Today, it is NASCAR Fan 1418. He's put together the most points in the last 4 races, and he seems to be coming down for a pit stop, so we'll have to make this quick. At Seattle, he put together a 2nd place finish, Delaware 4th. Meadowlands and Rio, though, have been a little bit down for him, but he has still run the most points in the past 4 races, so he's going to have to pick up his performance if he wants to stay in contention. But he has obviously been running up in that top 4 area for a lot of this season, so he is still looking pretty solid as long as he can put together the performance he's been running so far today. He was running in the 7th position at the time. We take a look at these guys who are all pretty far up in the field. McDaniel, NASCAR Fan 1418, and Saura They are all going for the 4-tire stop. And they go ahead and take off. And Goldberg goes by, and NASCAR fan 1418 is still on pit road, and I think I see a little bit of scraping right there. He has, in fact, touched the wall, and that's going to put him a little bit behind as he tries to repair that damage. And cars are coming in from behind him. Harris just flashed by. Johnson's there. And NASCAR fan 1418 has finally pulled away. He got the damage repaired, but that was a costly time on pit road. Dale Jr. Dude 88. John Green, Tyler Markell, all in for their pit stops. They're all going for 4 tires. They're all trying to get fresh tires, hoping the stickers work out. And Markell pulls out in front of Dale Jr. Dude 88, but he actually goes around on the outside, on the apron. But here comes McDaniel. He comes around very fast, and he is actually going to go around both of those drivers and assume the lead. A very wild cycle of pit stops right there under green flag. McDaniel takes away the lead from Dale Jr. Dude 88, who was just about to take it away from Markell. Markell has obviously been running up front for most of the day. If we look back, here is where NASCAR fan 1418 got that damage. He ran a little loose coming through that second kink. Ran high and scraped the wall, and now he is far behind most of the field. What a turn of events. I'm not sure what actually got him loose and got him that high in the first place, especially in the kink, but he has in fact taken the damage, and his performance is not looking good today. He is going to need a caution flag if he wants any chance of trying to catch up, because he is running far behind the field at the moment. So McDaniel taking over the lead from 2 of the front runners today. We're going to go back to another commercial break, and we'll be right back with more racing action in the NASCAR Wendy's Cup Series.
Too much information. There's no such thing in NASCAR. With the NASCAR Sprint Cup mobile app, you get live in-car audio, real-time stats, even driver bios. And with Sprint's unlimited data, you can find out everything about me. Like my secret obsession with karaoke. Here I go again on my own. Going down the
There's no such thing as TMI when you have NASCAR Sprint Cup mobile and truly unlimited data, only from Sprint.
Welcome back to Hattiesburg Speedway. As we look down the backstretch, you can see one of our front contenders, NASCAR fan 1418. He just sustained some damage just before that pit stop. That incident took place on lap 17, and he pitted the next lap. And now he is in danger of being taken a lap down by some of these front runners. You can see the battles are starting to ensue in the back of the field. Johnny Gardner, we saw him trying to make some moves, and now Acevedo is looking to the bottom abandon. They're getting a lot more aggressive on the racing as we hit the back half of this race. We're just about to cross halfway point. Looking back at Acevedo right there. He currently runs 12th in the point standings. He's another one of those outsiders looking in, hoping to get a win and get himself in the chase because he's running in a pretty good position. One of the winners, Reese Butcher, is just behind him. As you can see, the winners of the races so far are pretty scattered throughout the course. They're either at the front or they're mixed in the middle. Butcher, Willie, Brenner all running consecutive places. Bandon's just a couple spots in front of them. Goldberg and Dale Jr. Dude 88 are running in the front, and actually, that's news to us. Dale Jr. Dude 88 actually took the spot away from McDaniel for the lead. Markell also battling for him going into turn number 1, and he's got the ideal line right here. Markell takes second spot from McDaniel. Saora is trying to take the spot from him. McDaniel's just dropping like a rock right now. McDaniel was able to get away with it. That outside line is pretty solid off of turn number 2. It's the inside that takes away the position if they can get down there and get there quick. Let's take a look at how that move ensued. You can see Dale Jr. Dude 88 trailing McDaniel, who we're on board with at the moment. And then coming into turn number 3, he breaks and cuts into the inside just a little bit. And he's not able to make the move right here, but he does have the ideal position, because turn number 1 is where you want to make your passes. As he comes in here, he breaks a little bit later than McDaniel does and takes the spot away. And then Markel is able to make a similar move coming down the backstretch on this one. So Dale Jr. Dude 88, one of your already winners, has the lead and might be your first repeat winner of this season. That would open up a chase spot to anybody at large. And the pit stops are going to be a major factor in who actually wins this race. You know that pit road speed has been essential to where some of these guys have been running. John Green's obviously lost a couple spots from where he was running earlier in the race. Probably the result of a pit stop that did not go his way. And I can see Wanderley has made a cut to pit road. He will be the first one to come along with Saura and Goldberg. Now you look at the laps that these guys are running and you realize some of these guys are going to have to make a pit stop just before the race ends. They hit their marks around lap 20 or just a bit before, and now they're here at lap number 38 making another pit stop, so they're not going to make it on fuel unless they come in for another stop. If these guys are able to stretch it, they might have a chance at pulling off a win, but we'll have to see what kind of strategy these teams play, what they were playing, because if you could stretch it out in the front part of the race and you can stretch it out in this part of the race, then you can make it all the way. I just saw Markel, Harris, and Johnson go by. They are still running yet another lap. Saura pulls off. Goldberg's pulled off. NASCAR Fan 1418 comes in late as he was running near the back of the pack. But here comes the guys that just came in from the last lap. Dale Jr. Dude 88, McDaniel, Green, all coming in to make a pit stop on lap number 39. NASCAR Fan 1418 pulls off, trying to stay on the lead lap. Johnson, Marty Johnson that is opting to stay out. And he's one of the few that are able to stretch out this fuel run. He's now coming in right here on lap number 40. The way that he's allocated his fuel, he'd be running just to the line. Alexander Miller taking the same route. Paul Brenner probably among them. You can see Markel, Harris, Matt Johnson, they all just came in. Meanwhile, some of those guys that have been holding the lead all race are going by. McDaniel and Goldberg going right by Tyler Markel, but Dale Jr. Dude 88 was in front of them. Marty Johnson getting his service. We've seen him on the leaderboard today, so he's obviously running in a solid position at the moment. And as he pulls off, there goes Dale Jr. Dude 88 into the corner. Looks like Saura was just behind him. We've got a two-man battle at the front of the pack. But we're going to take another quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to bring you the finish of this race.
Which is why we use the turn signal. All right, who can tell Mr. Leffler why it's dangerous to go fast?
The faster you go, the less control you have over your car.
Very good, Mr. Edwards, which is why...
Well, yeah, because last year at Charlotte, going about 175 off turn 4, Casey got real sideways and just T-boned me right in the door. If I'd have backed it down to, say, 150, 140, he'd have missed me completely.
T-boned you.
Well done.
The NASCAR Busch Series on ESPN2. Season begins February 17th at Daytona.
Welcome back to Hattiesburg Speedway. Dale Jr. Dude 88, a winner already this season, is now heading up the field in front of Harry Saura. It's been a wild battle so far. Pit strategy is playing a major factor in this race. Lap number 46, we only have 15 laps to go. And some of these guys are in contention to either repeat or win for the first time. The battles continue to ensue as we go further back the pack. You can see Conrad Cooper battling with Lindsay there. Emmett Juckham trying to make a move out the outside. Kingston, Flash, Scott, all trying to go around each other. Making more moves to the inside of that apron line. Trying to get themselves some speed into turn number 1. Dale Jr. Jude 88. I believe he might have dropped out of the top 10 in points as of this race. However, he is looking to put himself in the lead in the chase, because if you can win twice or more, every single win gets you 3 bonus points toward the chase once it begins. All of the drivers are going to end up with 2,000 points and 3 additional points added to as many wins as you have this season. Tyler Markell running in the 4th position. He is trying to make a move on McDaniel and trying to get his first win of the season. And you know some of these guys are very hungry. They want to see themselves locked into the chase. Obviously running that top 35. And Markell is looking to make that move on McDaniel. And he is going to have the line to win that battle heading into turn number 1. Markell hits 3rd place. And he's looking to track down Dale Jr. Dude 88 and Harry Saura heading into this final stretch. But remember, these guys are still in need of some fuel. Most of these guys have been pitting early. And where their fuel is allocated is going to be a stretch for some of these guys. Coming into the front stretch, 10 laps to go here at Hattiesburg. Dale Jr. Dude 88 is gapping Harry Saura. And it's a long way back to Markell as a couple of lapped down cars separate them. Here comes Green trying to make a move on Wanderley, who's already lost his spot to Harris. That leaderboard is not correct at the moment. Not able to get it done right there. John Green, one of our bubble drivers, he would love to get a win, but he would also love to get some points. Get up there and try to be in contention for a bubble spot. Should Dale Jr. Dude 88 win this race, he would be in a good position to start making some moves. Of course, NASCAR Fan 1418 has dropped to the back of the pack due to that damage that he had to repair on pit road. He is trying to take that spot away from him. Meanwhile, Marty Johnson sitting in a good spot because of where he pitted. He pitted right at the 40-lap range. He can make the stretch if he needs to. Rampage, another one of those bubble drivers, making a move to the inside of Bandon, trying to take more spots away. Of course, he is the first spot on the bubble list. But you can see the 2 guys who have possibly the fuel to make it all the way are right in front of him. Dale Jr. Dude 88 comes back around the front stretch into the kink and into turn number 1. He continues to gap this field. He's putting up a dominating performance, but it could all collapse with just one pit stop, which we know many of these guys are going to have to take. You can see Saura running in the back, trying to battle off a couple of lapped cars, trying to get some positions themselves. Saura, a winless driver, currently running in the 35th position. If he were able to win this race, he would not be in a good position to stay above the dreaded cut line. Let's see, Noah Cars is trying to make a move to the inside of him. Cars is not on the lead lap, but Markel is taking advantage of this and trying to cut himself into the conversation. He is trying to go under KD124, another car that is a lap down. Trying to see what he can do right here. Saura is trapped on the outside line, and Markel might take advantage of that. He does. Markel has just propelled himself into second place thanks to this lap traffic. Certainly not cars that are going slow. They're just a little bit far behind, maybe because of pit stops or a bad starting position. But Markel is still battling Saura, but it looks like off of this turn he might make something happen. And it's a good thing because Dale Jr. Dude 88 is coming down to pit. Markel has taken the lead away now because Dale Jr. Dude 88 has pitted. And many other cars are going by, including Marty Johnson and Alexander Miller. We know they are trying to stretch it. Dale Jr. Dude 88 headed into his pit stop, which is a little bit further down this front stretch. We'll see what he does in terms of tires. He is going for a 4-tire stop this time around. Markel making another round. I apologize. That was a 2-tire stop that Dale Jr. Dude 88 made. I'm not sure if tires were even necessary this late in the race, but of course, we saw what happened to Rampage a couple of races ago. Took the 2-tire strategy and it did not pay off. But of course, this is very close to the end of the race. It might not even matter. Markel is heading down to the pits. He is making his pit stop. He is going to relinquish the lead. Harris is also pitting, and Marty Johnson is now looking to take the lead, and who knows, he might take the win in this one now. He hasn't been sitting too far back. He's been in a pretty good position all race. We just have not been seeing him on the leaderboard a lot. A little bit in the front part of this race, but as of late, he's been sitting just outside the top 10. And now he's coming around, not pitting. He's going to head and hit the white flag and has the potential to win this race off of pit strategy. The white flag is out. Matt Johnson did head to pit road. He is going to lose his spots. But looking at guys like Miller, Brenner, Scott, Butt, Brock, Bush, they all appear to stay out and make it on fuel strategy, and they have the potential to put themselves up a good finish as Johnson comes around turn number 3 and 4 into the front stretch. No pit stops for him necessary. He is going to take this on 2, and Marty Johnson wins at Hattiesburg. My, oh my, what a race this was. No cautions, no crashes, just a whole lot of good racing, especially in that last half of the race. And it all came down to pit strategy. All it took was allocating the fuel correctly. And now as we take a look at the finishing order, Marty Johnson has given himself a pass to the chase. Miller, Brenner, Scott, Butt, Brock, Bush, all people we talked about having not pitted on that last run, they all stay above a lap down. NASCAR Fan 1418, disappointing finish. He is in 39th after that wall scrape. Eric Van Arsdale was also on the bubble and he finished 40th. If we take a look at the standings, Paul Brenner, Barry Goldberg, and Stephen Willey are all Up there in the top 10, Rampage has gapped the Bubble Drivers. John Green assumed 4th place. NASCAR Fan 1418 went down to 10th. Marty Johnson now ties Reese Butcher at 27th place with a win in his pocket. So that is going to do it for us here at Hattiesburg Speedway. Thank you all for tuning in today at RVN. My name is Colin Denton, and I will see you next week for more racing action.